What if I told you that the most debated dish in the American Midwest is an elaborate lie? If you walk into a parlor in the Queen City today, you'll see the word chili plastered across every neon sign and laminated menu. You see the steam rising from the bowl. You see the deep mahogany color. But what you are actually witnessing is a forensic masterpiece of Mediterranean engineering, a spiced meat sauce born from a Macedonian recipe brought to Ohio in 1922. It is served over a bed of spaghetti, buried under a literal quarter-pound of finely shredded cheddar and accompanied by a bowl of oyster crackers. Cincinnati called it chili. The rest of the United States had a collective meltdown. And Cincinnati? They didn't care, not even a little bit. Welcome to the Origin Plate. I'm your host, and today we are performing a deep dive audit on the food identity of Cincinnati, Ohio. This is a city with a culinary DNA unlike anything else in the country. Almost none of it looks like it's supposed to look, because almost all of it was forged from the same three ingredients: immigrant grit, tight budgets, and a total, absolute refusal to waste a single scrap of protein. In the local garages and kitchens, they call it the stretch. When you have very little, you make it go further. You add oats to the meat. You pour the sauce over cheap pasta to bulk it. You fry the leftovers until they're crispy and call it a breakfast staple. You even put a grilled cheese sandwich inside a glazed donut, and yes, we're going to talk about that. These are 10 foods that define a city built on the beautiful idea of making something out of nothing. Let's decode the origin of the Queen City's plate. 2. Exhibit A: Skyline Chili and the Macedonian connection. The year is 1921. Two brothers, Tom and John Karadjev, are fleeing the post-WWI fallout in the Balkans. They land in Cincinnati and open a humble food stand tucked inside a burlesque theater on Vine Street. To keep the business afloat, they begin selling their family's traditional meat sauce. Back in Macedonia, this sauce was known as salsa kima. It wasn't a stew, it was a topping for pasta. It was flavored with a warm, aromatic holiday spice profile: cinnamon, cloves, and allspice. These are ingredients that a Texas chili purist would consider an act of war. But the Karadjev brothers weren't trying to win a culinary award, they were trying to feed people for a dime. Spaghetti was a cheap filler. Cheese was a cheap filler. By pouring a small portion of spiced meat over a large portion of pasta, a meager amount of meat became a massive, satisfying meal. This is the stretch in its purest form. This logic gave birth to the way system, the three-way: spaghetti, chili, and a mountain of cheese. The four-way adds either onions or beans. The five-way, the full forensic build, onions and beans included. Today, there are more Skyline Chili locations in Ohio than there are Taco Bells. It isn't just food, it's a civic religion born of immigrant improvisation. 3. The cheese coney, the same engine, a different vehicle. The Karadjev brothers didn't stop at pasta. They applied the same one-pot, maximum, meals logic to the humble hot dog. The cheese coney was the second phase of their regional conquest. It's a standard hot dog topped with mustard, onions, and that signature blizzard of cheddar. The cheese here is a specific engineering requirement. It isn't sliced or grated, it is shredded, so finely that it almost floats on top of the chili. The chili itself has to be thin, unlike the chunky stews of the South, so that it can soak into the bun and the meat. It transforms a 20-cent Frankfurter into a 5-star regional experience. Goetta, the German survival loaf. Next, we look at a dish that sounds like a threat: Goetta Goetta. In the 1800s, German immigrants flooded into Cincinnati, settling in the over-the-Rhine neighborhood. They brought with them a very German instinct: waste nothing. Goetta is the ultimate poor man's sausage. It is a mixture of ground pork and beef, usually the offcuts and scraps, blended with steel-cut oats, onions, and spices. The oats are the stretch factor. By adding grain to the meat, a small amount of protein becomes a dense, filling loaf that can be chilled, sliced, and fried until it's crispy on the outside and creamy in the middle. What started as a survival food for the working class is now a regional empire. Goetta, the leading producer, moves over 1 million pounds of the stuff every single year. Cincinnati consumes more Goetta per capita than any other place on earth. It is the city's breakfast identity, born from a refusal to let a single scrap go to waste. The Grater's ice cream, stubbornness ASA business model. Not every food in Cincinnati was born of poverty. Some were born of an absolute refusal to change. Louis Grater began selling ice cream from a cart in 1870 using the French pot method. This process produces only 2 gallons at a time and traps almost no air, resulting in ice cream so dense it's effectively frozen custard. By the 1920s, the rest of the industry had moved to mass production to lower costs. Louis' widow Regina was urged to switch to high-volume machines. She said no. She insisted on the slow, tiny batch method because the quality was superior. The genius moment in the Grater's story is the chocolate chips. Because they pour melted chocolate directly into the spinning frozen pot, the chocolate freezes on contact and is shattered by the paddle into massive, irregular chunks, sometimes the size of a quarter. You don't find a chip in Grater's, you excavate one. Even Oprah Winfrey declared it the best ice cream she'd ever eaten. The stretch here wasn't about the money, it was about stretching a 19th century process into the 21st century without compromising. The Montgomery Inn, the sauce ASAN, equalizer. In 1951, Ted and Matula Gregory took over a small roadside restaurant. Ted was the ribs king, but Matula was the architect of the secret weapon, the sauce. Montgomery Inn barbecue sauce is a departure from the vinegar-heavy traditions of the South. It is sweet, tomato-forward, and almost dessert-like. In the world of low and slow cooking, sauce is the stretch. It transforms tough, cheap cuts of ribs into something transcendent. This sauce became so famous that icons like Bob Hope, Elizabeth Taylor, and even Ronald Reagan had the ribs flown across the country. It turned working-class food into world-class status. La Rosa's Pizza, the church fundraiser. Empire. In 1954, Buddy La Rosa was asked to make pizzas for a Catholic church fundraiser on the West Side. He used his Aunt Dina's recipe, and the pizzas sold out instantly. What makes La Rosa's distinct is the forensic profile of the sauce. It is sweet, significantly sweeter than New York or Chicago styles, and it uses provolone cheese instead of mozzarella, providing a sharper, tangier pull. Today, there are nearly 100 locations. Despite being surrounded by multi-billion-dollar national chains, La Rosa's consistently outsells the competition in the Cincinnati metro area. It is an immigrant family's tomato sauce stretched across an entire region for 70 years. 8. G.R. Rippo's Barb Chips, the regional empire. You might think you know barbecue chips, but you haven't had a Grippo's. Angelo Grippo started this company in 1919, making sugar cones in a single room. He added pretzels in 1923 and eventually invented the loop pretzel to reduce breakage during shipping. In 1959, they launched their potato chips. The Grippo's Barbecue chip is famous for a coating that is heavier and more powdery than commercial brands. It is spicy, sweet, and incredibly addictive. It became the official chip of the Cincinnati Reds and Bengals, representing a century-old family business that stretched from a single room of sugar cones to a regional snacking empire. IX. The Cincinnati Met, the unsmoked tradition. If Goetta is the breakfast shift, the Met is the lunch shift. A Cincinnati Met, short for Metdirt, is a coarsely ground, unsmoked pork sausage. Unlike the smooth, emulsified texture of a standard Frankfurter, the Met is intentionally chunky and pork-forward. Averill and Sons has been making these in Cincinnati since 1894. For over 130 years, the Met has remained a local secret. It never went national, and it never sought a Shark Tank deal. It stayed in the same neighborhood butcher cases, feeding the same families for over a century. That is the purest form of the stretch, not growing horizontally, but sustaining vertically through generations. Aglamesis Brothers, the Greek confectionery legacy. Cincinnati is famous for chili, but it doesn't get enough credit for its chocolate. The Aglamesis brothers, Thomas and James, were Greek immigrants who opened their candy shop in 1908. They made their ice cream the French egg custard way, sweetened with honey, and they hand-dipped their chocolates, including the legendary opera cream. An opera cream is a dome of smooth vanilla fondant encased in dark chocolate. It is a masterclass in texture. The cream melts first, followed by the snap of the shell. Like graters, the Aglamesis family stretched their craft across generations instead of square footage, keeping the hand-dipping tradition alive for over 115 years. The donut grilled cheese, the final stretch. We saved the most Cincinnati food for last. This is a glazed donut sliced in half with a grilled cheese sandwich inside of it. In 2009, Tom and Che set up a food tent at Fountain Square, somewhere in the process of innovating the grilled cheese. They decided that traditional bread was optional and used a glazed donut instead. They took the concept to Shark Tank, walked away with a deal, and went national. It shouldn't work. The sweet glaze, the salty cheese, and the buttery crispness seem like a culinary contradiction. But it works because Cincinnati is a city where the rules are optional. The stretch isn't just about poverty. Sometimes it's about the possibility of what happens when you stretch an idea into something it was never supposed to be. Every weird food on this list, every rule it broke, and every purist it upset started with someone trying to stretch what little they had a bit further. German immigrants stretched meat scraps into Goetta. Greek immigrants stretched a family sauce over spaghetti. An Italian-American stretched a church recipe into a 100-restaurant empire. In Cincinnati, making do isn't a compromise, it's a celebration. The city's chili isn't famous. Despite being weird, it's famous because it's weird, and it owns it. If this deep dive hit different, subscribe to The Origin Plate. Drop a comment and tell me, are you brave enough for the three-way? Or are you heading straight for the donut grilled cheese? Stay curious. Keep tasting. We'll see you at the next plate.